Over.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We have an agenda.
I'll approve, make a motion to approve the minutes.
The
March 8th one.
Second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
Make a motion to approve the March 11th minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
abstain.
Motion approved. Communications,
I had the new conservation director come up Wednesday. We took a tour of all the properties that conservation owns and kind of showed him around, tried to come over here and meet all the courthouse people. Got all his paperwork filled out pretty much, so he's gonna start March 28th. Seems like he got along with the county pretty well, looking at different things, has some good ideas. You know somebody pretty well when you drive around for 3 or 4 hours with them in a little car, so
Yeah.
it's good to, some of the places I've never been, I've never walked clear down Big Bend before. It was a lot of dead deer put down there, so. Like I said, we went to all the different, walk down some of them, it was a really good experience for me too, so. But yeah, I think he's gonna fit, I think he's gonna work, very personable guy, just a people person, you can tell, likes to get out and talk. Different things, and I think he's gonna do a good job. That's my week, I guess. I guess I had a Heritage Board meeting yesterday, just the funding that they're coming up with, and just different things for that. There, I also had DCAT yesterday also. And I guess I should talk about the other thing. Paushik Water called me yesterday, and I don't think they're not giving us an if anymore. It's a must for the storage container.
so I talked to Naveen about it, and I haven't called back yet. I'm going back after the meeting, the Chad, and we need to make sure that we are required to do it by per lease. To see what the lease is. So,
The lease between us and Bear.
Paushik Water, if they can force us to put it in.
Yeah, they called me as well. Their concern is that they said that if there's a leak, there would be 200 gallons a minute leaving the system, which would be detrimental to the system. But if we have a tank and there's a leak, we'd still lose.
It's still gonna leak no matter if the tank there or not. We
I
just
would think so.
we just put brand new pipe in.
Yeah, so I just did some poking around to see how much a tank would be, and I got a couple of different vast numbers, but just no holding anybody to it, but you're talking anywhere from 25 to 50,000 is what I heard.
And I also called Bear and talked to those guys, they're gonna keep me in the loop of what they're gonna do. They haven't, said they're gonna do it yet.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I asked Chad that too.
And what did he say?
He said that there's something different for them, no, they don't have to.
Their lease was done before it was required.
Yeah.
So they're grandfathered in, but they're strongly encouraging them to do it.
I think our lease is older than ours.
The way it was kind of
Because it
insinuated.
worked east.
Yeah.
No, he said our lease changed when we redid the inlet coming in, we went to 4 inches.
Well, I changed our lease.
That's what he told me, that.
Did you sign anything?
I don't remember. We signed something that was responsible for the cost.
It was my insinuation, I mean, he didn't say, come straight out and say it, was that the reason we're required is because when we did that work, it changed he said we had agreed to it.
What surprised me is they told us to put the pipe in and that would take care of our problem.
Yeah,
And there's-
he was saying that we were told to put it in temporarily, and so I don't know.
How do you put a pipe in temporary?
Is that pipe stop right there at County Home?
No, it goes on to Pete's Conway.
That's a 4-inch line, gold clear concrete.
No, the 4 inches, ours is a 4-inch taps into it. It's like a 10-inch
Okay, so we got 4 inch from our pit to our
building.
So, and I was kind of inquiring about, well, you know, if we have like a stagnant water tank, is there a chance that we're gonna have to inspect it?
Oh, yeah.
He said no. He said if he wants, we can go with him, a couple of us can go with him to Brooklyn I-80 truck stop. They've installed a 20,000 gallon one. They have a maintenance guy there that it pretty much runs itself.
See, I was told you have to inspect it daily and get tested, and you have to be a certified inspector.
Yeah, so he wasn't positive on that either, so you may be right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
has plastic tanks, and I don't think they get inspected there.
Because that's what Bear told me, was what they'd have to do, they put the tanks in.
we'd have more inspections if we had our own well than we would if we had a tank. We'd have more inspection requirements, from what I understand.
Per Power Sheet Water.
No, that came from, one of our local commercial plumbers.
So I'm gonna get more involved.
That was a casual conversation, you know, just talking about it.
Because I don't know if we want to put $60,000 into a facility that Bear could walk away from.
Right,
That's
I know,
that's my
what-
biggest fear.
we're on a slippery slope.
But would it be an asset when we go to sell it though? I mean, if it's in there, or if we go to lease it to somebody else, it would be.
I think our ability to lease to somebody else is next to zero.
Yeah, you never know what comes up.
I know.
Such a big there.
Yeah.
They have another location, Bear does, I believe it is on
They have 2 others.
Yeah,
you have it,
East Camp.
yeah, is there,
Not
is
required.
that required, is that Power Sheet Water? too?
Yep,
Yeah.
both of them are.
They're not required because they're grandfathered in, but the guy told me that they are strongly encouraging them to do it because it wouldn't be just detrimental to Power Sheet Water if those were to leak. It'd be to the whole system. Is what he was coming across to me as, you know. Plus, I think the main thing is the water's being used at peak times and that's drawn from the system all at once. So the guy I was talking to, kind of, it's apples and oranges, but he's doing a cattle lot where they use 10,000 gallons of water in 4 hours. He's putting a tank in that cattle lot because, the guy's pump can't keep up with the 4 hours of pumping 10,000 gallons. So he's putting a 20,000 gallon tank in that'll fill up gradually during the day. And then he'll be able to draw from that at the peak time when he needs his water. And that's basically what their idea is with these camps.
And he's on Power Sheet Water as well.
Yes. Or well, I don't know. He might be just, no, he's on Power Sheet Water.
I'm gonna ask the question to him when I talk to him again. I wanna see what their water readouts were for last summer. I would like to know how many gallons we used out there.
I thought he told me, would it be right, 10,000 gallons a day?
So that's what they were using last year, huh?
He threw out 10,000
Because
gallons.
they have 85 people up there.
I'd like to get rid of 10,000.
Okay, here.
That's why I said I'd like to see those numbers. They
Well,
wouldn't
that wouldn't-
run them every day last year.
It wouldn't be a month though, would it?
No.
No, they ran it every day, so.
So if we wouldn't have went with that 4-inch line, would we have not had to do this?
I don't know, I was gonna find out. 'Cause that's kind of a dirty trick. They told us to do it just to get us out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They seem to act like it's a misunderstanding, but
How long is that 4 inch pipe? How many, where's our pit at out there?
It's right next to the road.
Okay, so
So
then,
then it comes along the west side of the building, wraps around the back.
we have 4 inch pipe going all that way around.
Yeah, and then it drops down, then it drops back down on the inside, the 2-inch line. They said they wanted 4-inch, so it would be like storage. That's what they sold us on, that's all. Okay,
And they were all worried about that big pump that we don't even use.
we don't use.
I said, well, could we, you know, is there an incentive if we do this? Could we get a rebate? And he said, no, if we did that for you, we'd have to do that for every restaurant, hotel, facility that has a holding tank, and we can't afford to do that. Or they won't, the board won't. I mean, I think he's coming from the direction of his board, is what he's coming at us with. The guy we talked to.
Right.
I'll get more information. I'll put it on the agenda for next week and see what I can find
Here's
out.
keep me in the loop. Don't be here next week.
I did mention, that we have a budget that's already established for
Yeah, I
the
just
next
thought about
Yeah.
year.
that. 6 or
And he says, well, I can't guarantee it, but if there's progress being made,
Well, then you're gonna figure that out.
you know, the time frame could be to the fiscal year after that, I don't know. He couldn't say for sure on anything, because obviously can't speak for their board.
What's our lease a year value? How much? And you said Bears, and Bear, did you say Bears discussed it with you?
I've discussed what they're doing,
The holding tank and,
and what they're doing at their sites.
Yeah.
And they're, right now, they goes, we're not doing it right now. Well, when they get prices to do it, he's gonna let me know. They go, let me know what you get for prices so I can have an idea what you're doing.
okay, and what's the length of our contractual agreement with Bear currently? Is it year to year?
We have it's in their favor. We have a 3-year lease, but they have the right to opt out of it.
Right, okay. Which I don't see them doing anytime soon.
For you, corporation, you don't want to bet your life on it.
Yeah,
What if, let's say we did have to do this, could we ask them to sign a 10-year lease?
But they always have the right to cancel. Their lawyers won't do that. I mean, they may do it, but they put it in and they can opt out of it. Because we have 3 years, they got the right to opt out.
per year? Okay.
So it could be just like, could be like Texas head out, like, very good, it's going, big day.
I know,
Well, I guess, maybe put something in the lease that says if you opt out, you gotta pay this much. I don't know, but we're a long ways from deciding that, but.
Okay, let's take a break from this and.
Sorry, I guess that was a long communication today.
yeah, before I forget, Kevin, so we were just talking, I'm not gonna be here next week either now. So, do we just not want to Zoom, like say no Zoom?
You have to put no Zoom,
Or
make sure it's
no.
on the agenda, there'll be no Zoom.
Because I don't think either of you wanna try it, do you?
Well, you can try to show me, I mean.
I'd rather have it just say no and then not, instead of say it's gonna be on there, not have it work.
I have
You know what I
trouble
mean?
finding an attachment when it drops off my screen. I don't know what on the computer.
You already got it on. Thank you.
How about that, like it's
This
just.
computer's not trooper-proof.
Morning, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
How are you guys?
Good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's start with the easy one. Let's do the final pay voucher for BROS CO 48, parent 95 8J 48. You just gotta sign the final there.
Is it meant to be a motion to approve this?
So you need a motion to approve it? I'll make a motion to approve the final pay voucher for Bros CO 4895 8J 48.
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
All right. We can do, so this year, we did the contract rock a little bit differently. We did it in 2 sections. One was FM contract rock, and the other one was local. So let's do our FM roads first. I've attached here for you guys to see. And John came over the other day and we opened up the bids so that I could organize them for you guys. Pretty. First one is actual FM bids. You can see then where each quarry put in a bid for which district. I've highlighted the lowest bidders for each district. Total, we have 163 miles of FM routes. And if you guys want to see maps, they're on the back page. So each route has two different colors, or each district has two different colors there. One of them's FM and one's local. So that's where we'll be getting rocked is on the back page, but this first one is the actual FM bids. The second one is the actual local. Bids came out for local. And then I've attached a third sheet there, 2023, so that you can see that there's a pretty good price bump from last year.
Yeah, there is.
Which is a little, I wouldn't have figured it would gone up that much, but last year some of them were kind of rough. So this will be the page, this has got all the bids, but if you guys want to pass this around, this will be the page that you guys can vote on. And there's the lowest bidder for each district, the quarry, the tons.
Did down south win the bids again?
Stuff isn't until like May 15th, like the county-wide stuff. But the state needs it before then because they have to have it all done by May 15th. So they want us to pass the engineers' budgets before.
Ours is due April 15th. We go through it. That's what I asked a couple weeks ago. And you guys said, well, whatever you had presented in your meeting, just go ahead and do that.
Yes,
So,
yeah. And we can always amend it too. So if something happens.
but I'm waiting just because of the projects. Because, well, you can say this. I have the North English going on. We had to do the amendments for this as well, and this fiscal year, which is what you guys will sign in a minute. And now I can go ahead and make my project list for next year and get it submitted. But the budget part is in, it's done. We just haven't submitted.
So you want a motion?
Is there a motion to approve more?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract bids for local and FM as highlighted, the low bid in each district.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Right?
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
Nick, would you mind sending these to me? Thank you.
We got to get a new one for the wall over there, still 22.
I can put mine up there.
Oh, they're fine. All right, we know Deegan's not good with computer. How about a stapler? You got a stapler?
There we go.
With this, you can even.
Cover
You
yourself.
can even go like that.
All right, signatures.
Check on John Day, say.
Yeah. Sorry, you kind of opened up that door. I was just gonna keep it going.
That's all right. Somebody's gotta take the brunt.
I was thinking about putting a
Here's
speed
our-
camera somewhere in Iowa County so we can get a little more extra money.
We should put one up on the interstate. Help our budget.
Be our budget.
All right.
I had experience with one, that's why we're talking.
Oh, did you get a ticket?
Yes,
It's not above the law anymore.
no, never was, never was.
One's on the interstate of Cedar Rapids, because I know where they're at, right? So I can slow down, but I hear there's a lot now in almost every little town.
Highway 20 by Webster City, there's one.
In a courthouse.
Bring it out, don't we?
I don't know how I feel about all those.
You want that picture?
On the south side of Old Town too.
Really?
Looks like a birdhouse, I heard.
If you Google it in Iowa, you wouldn't believe how many there is. I don't know where the legislation's gone with that.
I was gonna look that up. I thought,
Way to find speak
I think it
The
went
bad thing is they got it tied to the hands-free bill. so-
I know.
That's important.
I think it got put on unfinished business yesterday. It might be wrong.
All right, so I need you guys to, officially pass this resolution. There'll be a couple to sign. So this is a resolution to amend our 5-year program. What we did is we added the North English project on there. The 150,000 comes out of our FM. There's a bridge on the Iowa Poweshiek line that we have to pay for half. Poweshiek County already fixed it, they haven't sent us a bill. And W21, the south 2 miles, I have to have it, we had to have it programmed and had to have a step number and everything this week. And then we also added or modified the FM Rock Hall up to 715,000. And I did change the price for B66 since it was already let. So I'll need a resolution number, you sign there, and then the last page too. I know it's a double. I'll sign here. And you'll need to sign down and everything. And officially, you guys passed this last week. No, a couple weeks ago, you gave the okay officially to put W21 on there, so. I said I just didn't have the actual resolution, but you guys have voted on it.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 2024-03-15?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
The only real change in construction going on is they started that bridge near the castle. They haven't actually started taking it out yet, but they got their equipment moved in and the road closed. And we set up a pre-con for B66. Looks like that'll be sometime this summer, midsummer, and we have talked to.
Is that a hard road closure? Is there a route around it or is it?
No, we do HMA, so everything stays open to traffic.
I mean, the one with the bridge over there.
Yeah, that's a hard closure.
That's what, so they'll have to go.
4 months. It's hard to tell because before April 1, they don't get charged out working days. So we are grading, kind of prepping for contract rock. I know that we graded Wednesday, got rain Thursday, which isn't always ideal, but we need to be ready for, I'm sure these quarries will be calm, so we'll probably start laying rock next week. The forecast looks pretty good as far as no big snows, and we'll start rolling.
That'd be good, that's early.
Yeah, it's pretty, I don't see a reason to, there's no snow in the 2-week forecast, so I don't see a reason to hold them back. You can only just get wetter out there, really. And we're ditching, cutting some brush, and gonna replace a culvert too. I had some driveway meetings this week with some people, spent a lot of Monday doing that. Some people had to pay some bills for the driveways.
How'd that go over?
Good. Good. I gave my spiel. Said, you can't do this, but we'll accept your one driveway. And the other one, we put a timeline on it because it's a temporary. And you paid the road check, paid the bills.
Okay.
I think there's a new subdivision, right, that you guys are debating on or gonna approve, Wessel's edition?
Yeah, they just haven't received it yet.
What's that?
They haven't received it yet.
Okay.
It's up on all the departments.
So I'm not gonna sign off on this. The reason is that, so what it is right now, I don't know, 80 acres, right? They're splitting off the house from the field, and then they're splitting off an additional couple acres of a field so their kid can put a house in. There's no subdivision, really. It's just they wanna split up for houses and fields. The existing driveway to the house, so be it, and there's an existing driveway for the field. I think last year there might have been,
Yeah, there was something, because I got phone calls about it.
yeah, 2 years ago, there was a big issue. And then last year it was, I think what you were talking about with, so. So, yeah, no, I just wanted to bring it to you decide and.
Or just keep it to questions only, no comments. I don't know. You can bring that in or not.
Or, yeah, secondary roads do one, rest of the courthouse, or if not, we personally sit. We have assigned seating, I don't know.
I'll have to come to that meeting now. I'm a little pro at that. So.
The community funding grant, we did get that, so we got, a lot of extras to do. We had to get it programmed, get into the STIP, get the STIP ID number.
They extended the date.
They did?
Yeah,
I just got.
so the 29th.
The 29th.
Bummer.
So is that, my Bud Light said that by doing that, they didn't have enough candidates coming in, maybe?
Well, yeah, because it was only a 2 week.
I know, but
That's probably why, because people, if you want
You
community
didn't
support,
get it, Nick, I'll forward it
our
to you.
local people only meet once a month.
Right.
I was supposed to do that 2 weeks. But I think we had a pretty good, our letters of support were pretty good. There was a petition that went around for, one weekend? We got 200 signatures that was attached. I know I've talked to Ashley Beerworth on the phone quite a bit. Kevin, I think maybe you did too.
Yeah.
From the way it sounds.
She could get back to me again, because I didn't understand her theory on the one thing, and she goes, well, you should ask for all the money, and if you don't get it all, then you come back and they go, well, I don't think they're gonna let you pick and choose, like ask for 10 million, but you only need 2.
Yeah, so, well, then that's why I was impressed, because even she went to work for us for that, right? So I was like, asking her, hey, this is the initial conversation, hey, I think we can swing the whole thing. What kind of applications are you getting? Do you need a big project?
Yeah, that's what I
Do
was
you
doing too.
want little projects? Because last year we got this, and this, and they all ended up getting funded around 3 million.
Yeah.
And I said, well, perfect, that's what we're asking for. She goes, if you don't, she goes, well, you could put the whole thing, and that way, if you get 4 million, you could still collect an extra million. And I said, well, that's very difficult to do, because then I can't swing the extra 5.
Yeah.
And if I put start points on, program it like that, then I'm held to that. So she went to work for us,
Right.
making extra phone calls out of her day to try to get around that. And she said, don't put any points, just put this road. And, well, then all of a sudden that can get, I think, a little complicated in itself. You stop paving mid-mile and where do you, so. She told me that everything last year was programmed for round 3. So I said, we're just gonna shoot for that then, because that's what we're asking for. That would be the cleanest. So, being that she went to work, I made some other phone calls and got some other ones back, and they said, well, that's good that these people are asking you certain questions, and that's a good sign. So, I sent her additional information to make sure, extra emails to the things that weren't on the grant. So, yeah.
I didn't send one of the letters over. And I'll show you why.
And, but the one last year that was supposed to be voted on, like in July, just got approved last Saturday.
Cool.
So, but beforehand, because she picks her 15 projects before, and now you're just waiting for Congress to sign it.
So let's say we get approved, works perfect. We get approved by July 1st, we get the money when does that be done by? It's not like there's a guy waiting on the paving machine to show up.
No, so let's just say they approve it July 1st. Our plans are set for, as soon as they would officially approve it, our plans, the project is set to be let in March.
Okay.
Which won't happen because they won't sign it in July, I doubt. Maybe in the election year, maybe they will. I don't know how the heck they're gonna sign it in March. They just say funds have to be obligated in 12 months. So I think if they sign it in March, we would do a November letting, and it would be built in 2026.
So do the work in 2025.
What's that?
You do the work in 2025.
2026.
26.
If they don't obligate it, if they don't sign the official bill until March of 2025, because you can't start getting right away before that, and you can't get right away until you have SHPO.
Yeah.
Well, when you can't get that until you have funding, and that takes 12 weeks. So I would say as soon as they obligate it, then we can have a letting date. But we're gonna pay for a survey out of our pocket.
Is there a lot of right away needed, you think?
By law, yeah, but I would imagine there's only gonna be 2 or 3 holdups. Most of it will go pretty quick. But since it's a big project, you'll have to get an official right-of-way person involved. It'll get a little bit expensive, which we'll have to pay for out of our pocket. But small price to pay to keep it moving.
Okay.
So, yeah. Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get you away by talking to her.
No, I like that more. Is, if she's the one that picks the projects.
I was nice.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. If she's the one that picks the projects, it never hurts to be nice to people, you know? So,
It sounds like I pretty much asked the same questions you were asking. So what kind of projects do you pick? What are our chances?
did she give you much of an answer on this?
Well, basically what she said, she was the one that encouraged me first, about going, go for it all. I'm thinking, what if we don't get it? Are we out? Is it
No,
nothing?
I think they would have give you a chunk of it, but then if you,
But then you gotta prorate it.
so we couldn't come up with 6 million. They give us 3 and the whole project's 9, we couldn't come up with 6.
That's what I mean, then we're obligated to pay it all. She goes, no, you just cut your project back. I don't think it's gonna be worded that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
We're only gonna give you 3 to do your $9 million project, you got with the other 6. No, we'll do it the other way, we only do the 2.
so. I think it'd be a good start if we could get those 2 paved, that would, I'd like to say that would make people happy, but you know the big thing will be why didn't you do the other
I know,
3.5?
you gotta start somewhere.
Baby steps.
Wonder is, if this continues year after year, this program, is this
It
the
could.
second year?
It could, yeah. So if it does continue, which changes from president to president, I think. But I would imagine your next 2 years after that, you don't have a very good chance, but maybe 3-4 years down the road.
Because we got approved once,
That'd be my guess.
then not to try.
I talked to, the new director out to, and he said Zach Grant had the same pot of money, 75 million.
Well, I thought it was front and back, but 2 pages.
You got a busy week.
That's that.
Not a pleasant one either.
Yeah. Almost over.
Yeah,
And CPR in progress with the talk show yesterday.
what'd you say?
They had a guy go down at the talk show yesterday, but I don't think they actually started CPR though. They were going to, and then he started.
It sounded like they.
I got there right after they said they weren't doing CPR.
All right, I gotta let you get through, so I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Get going here. Our call report for, February, we had 142 dispatch calls, 114 of those were billable. 28 were canceled or refused. So for the year to date, we are averaging 163.75 calls per month, 132 of those are billable, and 31.5 are canceled refusals, so we're still up from last year, still busy. February was a little shorter month, a little bit more manageable. Number of times both ambulances were busy on the call. We try and keep track of that, was 21 times. We didn't have any third unit calls that we were able to cover, and we only had to request out of county twice in February.
Just quickly on that, did we ever get called to help other counties?
Occasionally, not too often. Not very often. Once in a while we get called for advanced life support.
Just
Some of
curious.
the surrounding counties have more ambulances than we have. I mean, like Benton County they're all volunteers, so they have more ambulances. But yeah, no, not too often. Our finance report, I didn't update that date, it should say 2/29. February expenses were $157,186 compared to our monthly budget of $192,052. Our actual expenses year to date, $1,382,229 compared to a budget of $1,536,417. So year to date, we are sitting at $154,188 under budget. Just a note in there, we're trying to target $133,000 under budget to carry over for next year for a new ambulance. Our actual revenue for February, $109,135. Our year-to-date revenue, $820,977, compared to our budgeted revenue for year-to-date of $696,333. So revenue is up for the year-to-date, $124,643. Had a couple of good months, but it's also been busy with calls. So our difference in our actual expenses compared to actual revenue, $561,252. We have a budgeted difference of $840,084. So right now we're sitting at a positive impact of $278,832. Take away that $133,000 for a new ambulance, we're still sitting in pretty good shape for the year.
But our budgeted revenue, yeah, okay.
Yeah, our revenue's over what we budgeted, which it should be with call volumes and stuff, but revenue, you're pretty kind of conservative, because you don't know where it's gonna come in, so you don't want to budget too much and not make it. You don't want to be out,
Right.
so, yeah. You can't really sell business, so.
Well, that's not our goal, right? It's to serve, but yeah.
So our year-to-date charge is sitting at $1,124, and our average revenue per transport is $668. Just our cost per dispatch call, $1,055 compared to our cost per billable, $1,306.
We're catching everybody that calls it, aren't we? I mean,
What's that?
we're catching everyone that calls,
Yeah.
right? We're not missing, we're not short to where we need additional staff. We're catching everybody.
Yeah, it's just that we call out a county if we have to. That's how yeah. There's delays in getting people transported if we're busy,
Yeah.
So everybody eventually gets an ambulance. But that's why we're tracking all that. So when does it get to be enough that, okay, we gotta do something? So
Right.
we're just trying to stay on top of that so it doesn't get out of hand. Patient satisfaction's been maintained like 97.57%. Activities, just our preparedness stuff, before we get some of our grant money for training on there. Just another note, just so you kind of know what's going on. So that regional it's EMS has money, public health has money, and hospital preparedness have money. It's a coalition, but everybody has their own pot. It's restricted different ways of who can do what with the money, but public health is able to leverage some of that money to get AEDs, like out in public. I don't know if you've been to Amana, they got a couple cabinets that are heated, AEDs are outside. So we're trying to leverage some of that money, working with public health The plan right now is to get 3 of those this year. 2 of them will go in Williamsburg and 1 will down in North English this year. 1 will be like at the rec center or at the ball fields in Williamsburg, the rec ball fields, and 1, I think, on City Hall. And then I think Williamsburg, or I think it should be on City Hall. So we'll try to get those planners to have those in every town.
With our Iowa County Public Health,
Yes.
you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lori's the lead on it. So I don't want to steal any of her, her reporting, but, we're helping facilitate that, and we'll help train community members and, maintain those machines once they get out there. So that's kind of a neat thing that's coming down the line. Just normal stuff, our regular deposit scheduling, med machine collections, the Iowa offset program that Robbie helped get up and going, that's going good. I brought in 3,000 or 4,000 since that started here the last couple months, so that is working very well. We had some simulation Iowa training on January 20th. I haven't been here for 2 months, so I'm trying to get out of it. But the simulation Iowa, I believe there's 2 trucks in Iowa, one in this half of the state, one in the other half of the state. It's free for rural Iowa, so they brought it out. It's a big bus. They have one part of it set up like the back of an ambulance, one part like the ER room. So we did that January 25th. I did post a few pictures on our Facebook page if you follow that. We had our annual EMS day Saturday, March 2nd at the Williamsburg Fire Station. So we had 7 hours of EMS training that day, and we had like 50 people attend that, so it turned out pretty good. Jason,
All from Iowa County?
half from Iowa County. We had 1 clear from Nebraska. We use the grant funds for that, so it didn't cost anybody anything, because we offer it for free, so. Good. But most are from the area, surrounding counties, but yeah, we had 1 clear from Nebraska. So it's kind of neat. Jason's been doing a bunch of CPR training. He did Williamsburg firefighters. And then I'll get to it. I guess he did a training in Amana. It was a bunch of businesses, I think, together at the, I don't know if it's visitor center where he actually did it at, but then he did St. Paul's Methodist in Williamsburg, and he did the public health staff. So we had a busy month of CPR training going on. And that capstone, so this is the first time we've had students come out from Kirkwood or the university. The capstone's like their final clinical experience. So they're assigned basically 1 paramedic, or there's a paramedic and a backup paramedic. So that student spend 180 hours working with them as their final capstone project. So we're doing that quickly now. We changed internet, so our MediaCom basically doubled their cost for us in Williamsburg. So we ended up switching phone internet provider over to CTC. And it saved us about $200 a month. We had a package deal, and it included.
For her 10 o'clock. Let me call her and see if she can wait till this is over.
Yeah, because he's got a little ways to go.
Sorry, we had a 10 o'clock.
$10.
Okay. Liz, can we move you back to 10:15? Okay, we're right. Kevin, is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Bye. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'll keep moving. So safety wise, we had no injuries reported in February. The OSHA 300 report is posted downstairs in the bulletin board across the street if you haven't noticed it. I have my annual report. I sent that out to you guys. You guys don't get a chance to look at that annual safety report. I've sent stuff out twice now, so I'll just, to save time, I won't go through all that, but things look pretty good. It's in my file somewhere, but
You're getting to be pretty good with that stuff.
getting better at it, yeah. And then policy updates, I'll talk about those in a second. January 23rd, we had our safety meeting, annual IMWCA review. I have to send a response as soon as we approve as soon as you guys approve the policies, I can send the response that we've done what they've asked. HIPAA, yeah, last few weeks have been, or last week's been okay, but up to that, I've been busy on HIPAA. Trying to get those policies done. I think everybody's working on their training in the departments that are required. About half of my department's done. Business associate agreements, I need to reach out to departments and see where they're at on that. We already had them done for ambulance. I gotta double check with Lori. I think she has most of hers done on that. And then updated privacy notice that I sent out. So we'll go through that in a second. And that's kind of my basic report. We'll get into policies. If you have any questions. Yeah. So the first policy we have is the safety one to add in requirements by IMWCA, and that was to add that slip strips and falls and I believe bloodborne pathogens to our annual training requirement to that policy.
We need to approve each one as we go, right?
Well, however you want to do it, I was gonna do all the HIPAA together, but these other ones I had separate, so.
I think we should do the HIPAA one separate from the standard
Yeah,
ones.
and then, so if you want, let's do those two safety ones together. So the second safety one was IMWCA they wanted a form when somebody was on a return to work thing. So those are the two safety ones. So if you want to approve those together, and we can talk about the ambulance one and then separately.
I'll make a motion to approve the updates to the two safety programs. or
Second.
Policies.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
Okay, and then the ambulance policy was for our first responder teams, to add, if they go along with us to drive, whether it's a backup ambulance or we have CPR in progress, and they go along to assist, right along or drive, that we would compensate them something, for their time. I didn't really research her, I just thought $25. They're gonna take them, probably 2 hours of their time was reasonable, for them. So I guess if you wanted a different amount,
No, I thought that was fair.
yeah.
I make a motion to move forward with that.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
So there's that safety report again, that's in there. All right, next we got the HIPAA stuff. So there's a HIPAA privacy policy, which basically is, we're not gonna share any information that's protected. The security policy then is just making sure our, computers and all that's secured. So talking to, I believe that we mostly use Office 365 to store our stuff, both talking to Solutions, and I know what Ambulance uses. So that Office, Microsoft is HIPAA compliant, or they say they're HIPAA compliant. And then some of us have other software for like patient care reports, and that's HIPAA compliant. And then we needed a record retention policy that outlined how long we keep records. I believe it was, I think we keep everything 10 years, but I can't remember what.
Where do you secure your information to gather this policy?
This all came, we contracted with Iowa State
ISAC.
Association, ISAC. They provided the policy template. They have about probably 15 to 20 policies in the template. I cut out the privacy, I cut out the 4 most important that we need, because the other it was like 300 pages. I don't know how unless we're gonna hire somebody to.
We need to get the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as long as you're using ISAC.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the policies were forms for different stuff, like releasing information, if the individual wants the information, or if a, family member wants information. Some of it was, Are you marketing any of the information? Like, we don't do any of that. We're not selling stuff. We're just trying to take care of people.
Do we need our county attorney to review this?
Lou has looked over. So
He left.
Lou has already looked over all
He
that
has.
stuff. Yeah, I was gonna bring this last month, but we didn't meet, so.
Okay.
So he looked at it, he's looked at it quite a while ago, so. Yeah, so, and then the attorney from ISAC is the one who originally wrote these things. We just cut it out of their 256 page. I can send you that.
Knowing that ISAC proposed it, Lou's reviewed it.
Yeah, and what we really want to do, if we have any questions, we have that contract with ISAC, we're gonna call them and get their advice. I mean, we've already paid for it. They have an attorney that we have, I don't know how many hours we get with that. It's 4 or 5, 6 hours, but. So if we have a question, a HIPAA question comes up, that's not getting my direction, we're gonna call them and get that answered.
Very good.
And then, you know, we're sort of limited to what, because of our size, and we can't have a full-time, like, HIPAA security person, because we need a full-time IT person and everything else to get that accomplished, so. And then the privacy notice is what we hand out to patients.
Required by law, yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of all individually had these, like, public health had one, ambulance had one, transportation wasn't using anything, so. This is all taken from the federal, what's the department? Anyway, it's from the federal government, probably says on here. That implements HIPAA, and I just put it in a packet rather than in forms, so, and we made these up, gave some to public health, transportation.
Website, I'm gonna click on the final draft of our East Central Iowa local plan. So, I'm sure you all have been either participated in or you know of, a lot of the grants, especially those that come from the federal government, require us to submit plans that say what we're gonna do, right? And how we're gonna use their money. And one of the things that we're required to do is have listening sessions. Now, Alan will probably tell you, I am not just a check the block person. I actually think sharing the local plan is really important. And that's what I'm gonna do today. I have met already with 4 of the 7 counties that this money comes to the board, right, for you guys, for job seekers and for businesses, so we can do workforce activities better. So that's why I'm here today, because I'm going to walk through not the entire, it's actually only 66 pages, which is kind of short for a local plan. You're welcome. But I'm only going to walk through some of the higher level things that I thought were, that I thought maybe you guys would care about most. So I'm going to, one of my favorite pages, we did an analysis of a lot of different information, labor participation rate, unemployment, population per county. We also looked at a lot of information about what types of jobs. So what types of jobs do we have more of over the last 5 years? Which do we have less of? And this is all specific to our 7-county area. So Lynn, Johnson, Jones, Benton, Iowa, Cedar, and Washington counties. So one of the things that's important about our local plan is that, so the board contracts with Kirkwood right now. There are Title I adult dislocated worker and youth service provider for the 7-county areas. Now I'm going to tell you guys one of the things that I found and that I am working as hard as I can on is that our rural counties don't have a lot of representation in what it is that we are doing. And I think it's not that you guys don't care, but you tend to have just less resources than Lynn and Johnson, and it's a far to drive, right, to kind of get to some of those meetings and things like that. So what I have what you'll see in the plan is very deliberate efforts to ensure that we are doing a better job of including all of the rural counties in the things that we do to the best of our ability. Alan is a big part of that, and he does a really great job. He linked me up with Laura. Apparently she's a newer economic development person, and hopefully she and I can touch base, and I can have kind of an ongoing understanding of, the businesses that you guys are seeking, to operate in your area, how the businesses are doing in your area, and things that we can do to be helpful as far as retaining the workforce that you have, upskilling them. One of the things that we found in our analysis, not going to be a surprise to you guys, is that we have a lot of brain drain, right? So we have a lot of young folks come in, getting their degrees here, and then they're leaving the state, right? So we are, and frankly, a lot of that is outside of, the board's control, right? So what we are really focusing on in this plan is trying to figure out how to take the folks that we have who are employed and upskill them. We found that there's a lot of folks that are nearing retirement age, especially in our healthcare, education services, and manufacturing sectors, right? So in about 5 years, we're going to see a big gap, likely if those folks retire, in knowledge and skills, right? And so one of the things, Alan, I want you to be helpful with as we move forward over the next 3 to 4 years is, it is a specific item here on our plan that we target some of those organizations where we know there's going to be a large decrease in your workforce over the next 5-6 years, and start right now, working with you guys to upskill those maybe mid-level managers, even entry-level folks. Anybody who's been employed by the organization for 6 months qualifies for this training, and there's money for that. So Title I can subsidize those things too. Because I think some of the employers that are out there are kind of small, and training folks in this way is expensive. So anyway, I kind of got off topic. So on page 11, sorry, I'm struggling with allergies or a cold, so excuse me wiping my nose. So the in-demand and emerging industries that we found, right, for our 7-county area may be surprising, maybe not. Healthcare and social assistance was number 1. Public administration, educational services. So they kind of smushed together because a lot of our educational services come out of or from the University of Iowa for the 7-county area. So that was another big one. Manufacturing. So transportation equipment, petroleum, chemical, plastics, machinery, soap, cleaning compounds, food, beverage, machinery, agriculture, construction, commercial, and computer and electrical equipment. Okay, so those are all in demand, right, industries. Construction, no surprise. Building construction and building equipment. Professional services. So professional services and information-based industries, this is something I'm sharing, especially with the rural counties. These are emerging industries. So we, again, I'm trying with the workforce board, I'm trying not to focus on the problems that we're having right now with workforce, because there's not a whole lot we can do right now, except for maybe, like I said, retrain the staff that we have, things like that. But emerging industries are highly dependent on the internet and broadband. So if you can, fund any of that, or if there are any grants out there that you guys are interested in, as far as, boosting your ability to get broadband into your communities, please let me know. One of the things in the plan is that I am going to help a lot more with grant writing and things like that over the next 3 years. Okay, so I say that again because these computer system design, professional services and internet publishing, telecommunications, those are emerging. industries. And in fact, our area, the East Central Iowa area, is the biggest area for that in the state of Iowa. So it's really a place, if we wanted to, where we could create kind of a niche environment for that and make ourselves, you know what I mean, kind of a destination place in the state of Iowa for those jobs. Do you guys have any questions for me about any of what I've just said?
Nope, we're following along on the
Okay.
script.
Are you guys investing in, or is it part of your priorities? Again, I don't understand everything about politics right now, but I do understand that local areas may have smaller budgets this year, next year, whatever. Are you guys able to, or is it a priority for you guys to be investing in, you know, that broadband and internet infrastructure?
Frankly, we don't have the budget for it, number one, and number two, most of our county, I feel like, the last segment of it is that Wellman area, and that one is getting a grant too. So we've had a lot of grants that have come through in our area.
Oh, perfect. What did you say, which area?
The Wellman Telephone Co-op is doing one in,
Southern Iowa County.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I figure, right, is that if you gotta fund the firefighter or broadband, right, that's a really tough call. So I totally get it. And I just, like I said, I'm just sharing information with you and things that I would also like to help, you know, all 7 counties with over the next, whatever, 3 to 4 years. Because the data shows it's a priority. So let's just do what we can. All right, I'm going to move. And by the way, another kind of important piece of that list that I just talked to you guys about. So that list of jobs and industries, we will be telling our Title I service provider, which is Kirkwood, we're going to tell them, hey, look, we want to see, you know, biannually, how many people you are placing in career pathways that lead towards these in-demand jobs. The other piece of this that is significant about the list is that our board does not want us to be helping place folks in jobs that don't pay a livable wage. And there's some data within the local plan about that. The board has to set a livable wage. Right now, we don't place anyone in a job that pays under $10 an hour. But I think we need to have a relook at that because of inflation and things like that. So if we're going to use federal dollars to subsidize somebody's education, you know, and things like that, we need to ensure it's an investment, right, in a longer term, you know, strategy for growth. And retail is a high area of job growth, but retail doesn't pay very much, right? So we're going to try not to place folks in any kind of career pathways towards retail. Unless retail starts paying a whole lot more here soon, right? Because it just does. I did retail. I worked in Sephora. I'm sure all you guys know what that is. It's a beauty store. I worked there when I lived in DC, and I made like $17 an hour. And I thought, man, I'm just going to get rich. And then I learned that $17 an hour goes nowhere when you live in DC. And if I didn't get a degree, I was probably going to make $17 an hour my whole life. So anyway, there's my story. So I'm going to go next to, I'm not going to keep you guys forever. One of the other big things that we will work on, so the East Central Iowa Workforce Board partners with the departments, the programs that are in Iowa Works, right? I'm sure you guys know there's an Iowa Works Center in Cedar Rapids in the mall, and then there's a smaller one in Iowa City. So number one, we are working with them. So a big part of what the board does is try to operationalize some of the things that IWD, Iowa Workforce Development, says are important. because sometimes, you know, they might want to do something that's a good idea, maybe in Des Moines, or they think it's a good idea for the state. And what we do is we help operationalize it locally, right? Try to make it a better fit for what we need. Okay. And as you guys probably know, since you do that for your counties, that's very hard work a lot of the time. So one of the things that we're working locally with our core partners that provide services is we're working on, instead of siloing in each program and saying, hey, our program only does this, and if a customer comes to us and if they don't need these specific things, we can't help them, we don't know how to help them. A big focus is saying, hey, we don't care which program you reach out to, we may not be able to help you with your specific need, but we are going to find a seamless way to get you to where you need. So that's going to be a big undertaking, as you guys probably can imagine. But our local staff is really, really, really awesome. And so I think we're going to make progress there. So really just having more of a customer-centered approach. The other couple of things I want to mention to you, because it might be important to you all. How many of you have heard about the mobile unit from IWD? Alan, did anybody raise their hand?
No.
So Iowa Workforce Development, there's all kinds of like information if you just Google it. It's a mobile unit, so it's a big bus basically that has computers and stuff on it. My thought is we would really like to try, again, it's in our plan to have at least one, if not 3, job events, job fairs that maybe are specific to an industry or an employer. I don't know the answer to that, right? I have to maybe work with Laura on that. But that mobile unit would be driven out to whatever location, right, to help folks, you know, whatever job search. Basically, they'd have access to any of the services that you would have if you had a center. So we're going to try to arrange some of that. It's new. So I know Mississippi Valley, so like Des Moines County and all the, you know, Clinton and whatever, I think they're going to try out the mobile unit first, and we'll see how we want to use it in our area. It could be kind of cool. I don't know. We will see. Do I have time for one more little thing? Alan, tell me, is everybody asleep yet, or?
No.
Okay, good. I love this stuff, so I know other people have varying degrees of interest, right? So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, so in order to go after some of the grants we want right now, under the Biden administration, that could change, right? But right now, the Department of Labor has a lot of grants that are purposely there to invest in like clean energy and like it's not just like stuff like solar. It's also like, you know, taking older buildings and there's investments to make them more energy efficient, right? Like changing insulation, for example, right? So in order to qualify for those grants, there's this it's called adopting good job principles. And our board is going to also adopt those because they are, it's just a good idea to have them, right? So I'm going to just tell you really quickly what those are. What we will likely do in the next couple of years is if we're going to engage in a contract with a business like an OJT or any type of training, we want to ensure that they adopt at least 2 of these good job principles. So in recruitment and hiring, they minimize bias and requirements for unnecessary credentials and experience. Benefits, they have family sustaining benefits. They empower their workers to contribute to decisions about their work. There's relative job security, right? Workers have a safe, healthy, and accessible workplace. Organizational culture, all workers are valued and respected. pay, workers pay is fair, and as skills and career advancement, equitable opportunities for training are provided so that folks can get raises and things like that. So those are all kind of the criteria that we would talk with an employer about. I know that's not going to sit well with all employers, but it's something that the board has chosen to adopt. And frankly, I think, again, long term, it's gonna help us retain employees and even attract employees from maybe other areas of the state where those principles aren't being utilized. So that is the end of my spiel. Do you have any questions? Anything that you just don't like that you think I should change? Anything at all that I would love to hear.
Well, I think it's gonna be a good thing that we get you connected to Laura, and of course Abby being on that, board, but Laura's gonna be a good resource to have you work together. We do have the larger manufacturers. We got Whirlpool, we have Kenzie's, but Williamsburg Man, we got Victor Plastics, we got Victor Man. So I know they're all searching for employees, and it'll be a good resource to work together with her and open up the door for that partnership too.
I think that will be fabulous. And yes, I look forward to that. I understand every county, every business is very different. And so trying to figure out, and I know employers have fatigue, right, from us asking, what do you need? So if I can ask Laura instead of the businesses, that would probably make them less grumpy with me. And then we can just figure out those solutions together, because I think there's some low-hanging fruit, but we will just do our best. That's what we'll do.
That's all we can do.
That's right. Thank you all so much again for allowing me to participate over the phone. If if you're driving in the car later and you have a workforce thought that comes to mind, you just email me and I'll make sure to do what I can with it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Have a
Have
good
a great
weekend.
rest of your Friday. Bye.
Hey, take care. Appreciate all your time.
Thanks, Alan.
Bye-bye.
Nice shoes.
You're old, you don't get it.
I'm the second youngest on the board, so what are you saying about everybody else?
You're the second youngest?
Yeah. Well, I am.
Me, you, Kevin, John?
John Allen, yeah.
Alan's the oldest?
No problem.
not the wisest.
Hey,
I just got the email about the elevator.
Hey, you like that?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
It's a lot of money for changing a seal. It's gotta be
Must
more
be a
to it.
pretty important one, huh?
Here.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's what the loud bang was.
What are they trying to sock us for?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the packing went out of the main hydraulic. That's what I'm gonna assume.
It was loud. And that's definitely where it came from. Sitting on there was loud.
Cause the guy was here this morning.
Somebody on it?
Well, there should be hydraulic fluid everywhere. At the back of one, huh?
I don't know, it was loud.
$7,000. Oh, depends on how they plan on changing the packing. Are they gonna change the whole cylinder? I don't know, maybe you can't replace just the packing. Maybe you have to replace the whole lift cylinder.
That'd be more livable than repairing it. Good Lord, help.
I don't know.
You gotta close now.
Well, to me, if the packing went off, like I said, there should be hydraulic fluid just everywhere. Cause there's
I
not,
say, is there fluid everywhere?
I don't know, I'd have to look. Because if it's, doesn't that make sense? If the packing actually went out.
Packing's out. My experience with hydraulic cylinders and my line of work is if there's a packing or.
We're trying to run out of time.
And I like the idea of taking down that ash tree and that dirty maple.
And I'm still waiting on a number from Upville, what that's gonna be to cut them down, grind the stumps, haul everything away. The only reason I went with Upfeld is because he gave us a good price on the 3 last fall.
And then those are 3 new 8-foot trees planted.
8.
mulch,
8 inches,
8-inch.
yep, 8 inches.
That's extra.
Okay,
So it's two autumn blaze maples and 1 bur oak. I talked with Craig, and he said the bur oaks are cheaper than the autumn blaze, so we could do 2 bur oaks and, I mean, however you wanna do it.
bur oak is a state of Iowa tree.
Right.
I'd like to see that.
But either way, it's gonna be no more than $700 a tree for them planted, staked, mulched, and edged.
Do we want, more than one bid on those, or?
And it's under the $2,500. I can receive another bid if you would like.
Well, we have 2 landscaping. We got Craycomb, we got TNT, and we got the other. But I know TNT does trees too, don't they?
Yeah.
So they should be offered that opportunity too.
Okay.
Even though it's under 2,500, I'd feel better because TNT's already made the effort to come over and place a bid on the
Right.
preparation. I don't want to shut them out for that opportunity either, so. And then Steve placed a bid too, so, you know, I think we need to follow the process on that. Even though it's under the 2,500, I'd feel better here if we did it.
So I could get a hold of Trimby and Donahue and get prices on 3 trees.
Sure.
Because I think,
You say 3 trees or 4 trees?
3.
You decided on trees and what you want, right? To make sure that you're getting the bids the same,
Yeah, I mean, do we want,
the size and the.
yeah, I mean, I figured we'd go with the 8-inch tree because it's already somewhat,
Established.
Yeah,
It's a
established.
good sized tree.
and I mean, do you guys want 2 maples, 1 oak, 2 oaks, 1 maple, all oaks, all maples,
Let's take 2 of each,
2 of each?
my opinion.
So are you splitting trees?
That's if we take those other trees down.
Right.
Right.
Nothing gonna go to the north?
We would put.
We got 2 nice pin oaks there to the north now.
Yeah.
So we can put 2 maples on the north, then we can put,
2 birds on the,
I just want to cover up that beautiful courthouse after we spent all that money on the front,
no,
around it, all the way around it. It looks gorgeous.
So you're gonna get bids on trees, what they said.
Yep.
So let's go backwards a little bit farther here, so we just go down the order here. Are we gonna do the emitters and this, and the downspout defender?
That's what I'd like to say, but. Okay, I agree.
So you get this rolling of which way we're gonna go. Is that the consensus? That's what I've heard, I haven't seen him do, but that's. John?
what do you think?
I'm leaning on buildings and grounds,
I could go either way.
You're leaning what?
I would think for
Buildings and
$600, you're not gonna have to move gutter, you're not gonna have to do this,
That's
as
what I
long as they work.
I'm just worried about it blowing away and crushed and.
What do you think, Alan?
My opinion is to go with the downspouts, but
Especially that one. Because you are showing off the courthouse. And I'm not,
I think he'll do, I think he'll be a good job.
I'm always up for a challenge.
She's gonna take it to the master gardener meeting on the 21st, and propose it to him, so.
nice.
Perfect.
So would they put in the landscaping, or would they just do the plants?
Well, I also want to discuss with some, see what they want to do, so.
When would you be willing to do this, Alan? Like you said, a couple dry days and,
When we get those other trees cut down.
Do we need to know the price of those before we approve that, or are we
Yeah.
just gonna do, we're gonna do it?
I'd probably wait on the price, because I imagine I'm probably gonna have to receive a second bid, because I'm gonna assume that's gonna be over 2,500.
Let's do it then. Let's get Kirk in there too.
Your turn. Who else cuts trees around here? Do you really know?
Cruzo?
Cruz,
Cruz.
Jason Cruz does. Yep.
President Parnell,
Dylan Wade did.
and
Who's that?
Dylan Wade.
see, but then he hires Hubfeld to grind the stones. So if you get a number from Hubfeld, you kind of cut out the middleman, but I could get a hold of Dylan Wade as well.
Well, we got homework to do yet. We got time.
Mhm.
We got 4 weeks, but we really got to do much.
So I need to get bids on trees.
I just want them to look,
Oh, I agree. 100%.
If you can save some money, I suppose, let's try it.
We gotta realize it's not gonna look good the first year. so,
No.
right?
You sell artificial turf, Abby? Like indoor, outdoor carpet?
Actually, you know what, I can get my hands on it.
Price is half acre. We never have to mow.
Let me see what the cost is.
Arizona.
Wouldn't that be something?
$6.99 a yard,
Hmm. That'd be
so what'd that be?
a lot.
The courthouse is 1 yard.
There you go.
Yeah. 77 cents a foot?
I want it to look like the fake grass in the football stadium.
That's what I'm talking
Oh, I choose talking about the regular.
about. Well, that's fine, we can get indoor, outdoor carpet.
No, I'm talking real
Yeah.
Oh,
that's not
low.
hurt.
Anything else, Dylan?
It's supposed to paint it every.
That is it for me.
Okay.
So you guys are gonna walk over to the engineer's office then?
Yeah.
Alright, sounds good. You can hide it
Actually, it's up to you, it's on you for communications.
I have
I
some,
got so many pins.
okay. Obviously, I went to ISAC, I'm not gonna talk anymore about that. You also have my response to the Farm Bureau from, I was crafting from the first meeting. I didn't know we were gonna get a letter too, but I think you guys all saw that, and hopefully that made sense. I don't know how to make any more sense than that. And then, so the notice that went out on the Facebooks, I don't know, do you guys understand like why it looks like we're cutting property taxes? I didn't know if we should have discussion about that, so that way. So I got phone calls, I got like 4 or 5 on my way to Des Moines on a Wednesday about it. Have you guys been getting phone calls?
I have.
So we were required by House File 718 to post this example tax statement. Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
I saw what Brandy sent out.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So if you go down to the bottom, it looks like we're cutting property taxes, and I probably will put something in the paper about it next week. Do you have room for another letter if I just send you a quick one? It looks like we're cutting taxes by 13 and 12%, which we all know is not the case. And so, I put out a little, social media post about this explaining it, but the reason why it looks like we're cutting property taxes, even though we're not, is because they kept the valuation the same between 23, 24 and 24, 25. They did that to control the variables because they wouldn't be able to see, like, say, how much your valuation really would have went up. It would have been like a shot in the dark, right? So it wouldn't have been accurate even if they showed an increase in valuation. So by keeping the valuations the same, when valuations in actuality went up, that's part of that negative. The other part of it is the fact that the rollback went up this year by like 8.4%. And so when it did that, it's showing this 100,000 valuation with another 8.4% down, plus keeping the valuation the same. And so that's why it looks like we're negative. So unless some cities are actually positive and some counties are, ones that had really large growth, but,
There are North Liberties and Tiffins.
because their levy rates came down so far, because they had all that growth, so their levy rates got cut down. So if you were one of those counties or cities, then it looks positive, but it's still not accurate. So unless your valuation, the valuation change plus the rollback exceeds your levy rate increase from the last year, it's gonna look negative. But I mean, the easy way to explain it is realistically, if you just do the math up top, take the 7.4 million minus the 7.3 million in the countywide, and then the 2.4 minus the 2.3 in the rural, and then figure out what that difference is, and then figure out the percentage. It's roughly 5.5% is what property taxes are actually going up by. So I just thought I would explain that to you guys in case you guys get questions about it. And I'll put something in the paper for next week too. I won't do it on the board because we didn't approve it, but I will put something in there so that people know.
Okay.
And I haven't received any calls on it.
I got several.
Wait till the statements go out.
Oh, yeah.
Next week.
Then that's when, this is going out in the mail then, and it's gonna be really confusing. So just, if you guys have questions about it or whatever later on or whatever, you can always give me a call or whatever, so.
That's the only thing you got? Alan?
And then I'm gone next week. Gone.
Yep.
Couple things, Pioneer Cemetery, I got notice that, we are looking to add Richard Ullman from Williamsburg on the Pioneer Cemetery Board. Would be a good addition.
Did somebody go out?
I believe we still have a vacancy to fill, so,
Well,
Yeah, we have-
Wyatt did.
oh, that's right, Ally did, but we have to bring that, to the board, I think, for approval, don't we? Correct? Okay, so we'll get that prepared. Jim Johnson will probably come in and do that. The other thing is, we had a landfill meeting Wednesday evening, and the, new cell's moving forward. The, big news is that, we had 3 people on the personnel committee assigned to, interview a candidate for the new landfill director position that we haven't had filled for 7 years. They did a really good job interviewing. They've made an offer. My understanding that we'll know more about that here in another week. Should that offer be accepted, and then we can probably make it public who it is.
All I got is I just had a Veterans Affairs meeting the other day, nothing, probably really needs to be mentioned, it's just general business, and so there's an uptick in clients that she's dealing with because the government opened up, I guess you'd call it enrollment to more people than just what they had stipulated you had to be a veteran from, so, but she's handling it, and then just that, I went, after our meeting the other day, I went over to look at the building, which Alan and I will go over, and I thought the floors actually was really good, so. That's all I got.
We're supposed to have a union meeting Monday. Can we cancel that? Is there a reason that we need to have that?
We are?
Yeah.
I don't know.
For the sheriff. No, secondary roads.
Well,
I don't think so. Why would we need to?
Cause if,
they didn't accept.
Do it as a supervisor or as a practice? As a supervisor, it doesn't have to be a letter, I can write it as a call.
Okay, yeah.
okay.
Perfect, okay, perfect.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Have a good weekend.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Jeez.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned.